Good evening. Welcome to Ellie's Gifts relaxation session. My name is Katie, and I will be leading the session this evening. So I'd like to start with a brief outline, like I normally do, just of the sort of structure of the session. So whilst I do this, by all means, start setting yourself up for this hour. So yeah, maybe, finding a position that works for you, be that lying or seated, making sure you're warm enough, a quilt if you're in bed. I often imagine that people are probably snuggling up in bed, but if not, then find yourself a blanket, or if you're too hot, then making sure you're cool enough and hydrated enough as well. That's important. Okay, so I'll just give a very brief outline, and then I'll set myself up too. So basically, there's going to be, just like usual, a grounding, sort of arriving meditation. In this evening's one, we're going to be exploring the senses. So it's going to be quite a leisurely tour of the 5 senses. And then we'll have a short break, just to change position, or maybe adjust your temperature if you're too hot or too cold, or maybe have a drink. And then we'll be recommencing with a longer visualization this time. So it's going to be a visualization of a starry night sky, sort of constellations, the universe, the idea of sort of awe and wonder at the vastness of all. So that's going to be the second part of this evening. Possibly I might add some music in there depending on time, and then I'll just sort of end the session with a final thought like I usually do. So that's the structure. So as I said, setting yourself up now, making sure that you are warm enough, making sure that your body is supported. That's really important. So if you are lying, so perhaps you might have a lower back issue. Some people find just putting cushions beneath their knees, that really helps, just to sort of support the lower back. And likewise, making sure that your head isn't sort of yanked forward, and that it's just sort of like resting back on the pillow. Or if you are sitting, indeed, just sort of resting poised, the top of the spine. So sort of not slumping, but equally not sort of sergeant major, where you're really sort of straining to sit upright. So just, I suppose, poised and relaxed if you're sitting, and if you're lying, then comfortable, but alert enough to sort of take in my guidance. But equally, if you find that you're sort of drifting off, and that's what you feel your body needs, you might have had a really full-on day. You might need to sort of just want to zone out and just sort of drift off. Then that's absolutely fine as well. Basically, just make this hour work for you. And equally, just worth mentioning, if at any stage you're not, the guidance that I'm giving isn't working for you, then by all means, there's no pressure, of course, to follow anything that I suggest. So turn me down and just chill, or just have some time out maybe. Say for example we're focusing on the breath and that isn't working for you, then maybe focusing on the hands or the weight of your body as it rests on the surface beneath, and then coming back to the guidance, if and when that feels right for you. Okay, so I'm going to set myself up now. Have a sip of water. Okay, so I'll be doing both the the sort of meditation at the start and the visualization lying down. So by all means, follow suit. Okay. Okay, so finding a position that works for you, hopefully you have by now, and just really allowing your body just to arrive in the here and now. You might have been rushing to get here, sort of sense of pressure. So you can just let that go now. You're here. Just allowing yourself just to really release and let go. And feeling that weight, that volume and that mass, if you like, of your body. Really feeling that sort of coming into contact with that surface beneath, sort of taking up space on that surface. And allowing the surface beneath to really support you, really hold your weight. Okay. So if you are lying, I'll guide this as if you are, and obviously if you're not, then just adjust the guidance. Feeling the weight of your head, the globe of your head, resting on the pillow or the cushion. Then moving down, feeling the upper back, releasing, letting go, giving up weight. And moving down the vertebrae of the spine. All 24 vertebrae, moving right down to the middle back, the arch of the back. And then the base of the spine, the sacrum. And really allowing this area, the pelvis, the back of the pelvis, just to really sort of allow itself to let go, if you like. I think this area of the sort of buttocks, the hips, we can tense a lot and hold a lot. So just allowing that area just to really let go. Not forcing or pushing, just allowing. And moving down the legs, down the thighs, through the knee joints, through the calves, the fleshy calves. Then down into the feet, the soles of the feet, the toes. Then becoming aware of the whole of the body as it rests here, held by gravity. Okay, so we're going to start this exploration of the senses. So I suppose the first thing that might spring to mind is why are we doing this? So the main reason we're going to be exploring our senses is because it gets us out of our heads and into our bodies. So when we're within our bodies, we can connect with the present moment. It's a lot more easy to be here and not be lost in mental chatter or mental projections of the past or the future. When we're in the body, we can physically and quite literally be here in the moment. So let's start. So let's start with the sense of touch. Okay, so just without moving your body at all, just becoming aware of your skin, the skin which covers the whole of the surface of your body. What's it coming into contact with? So likely there's going to be the material of your clothes, perhaps socks on your feet, maybe. Maybe there's areas of skin that are exposed. Maybe you've got skirt on or shorts. So you could feel maybe a blanket on your skin of your legs, possibly, or your arms. What does this material feel like? Is it soft? Does it feel warm? Perhaps it's a comforting sensation. I've noticed with me that as I'm breathing, there's like a gentle stroke of the material against my skin. I can feel it across the top of my chest. Just a really gentle, really subtle sensation of stroking the material. Can you feel that movement of your breath as it registers against that material of your clothing? So this sense of touch, we've just gone down the back of the body, sort of registering those contact points, the weight of the back of the body. So what does that feel like now? Now you're sort of relaxing, coming into the present moment, really feeling into those contact points, the weight, the heaviness. The sense of that support holding you. Okay, so what about the temperature? There's any areas of your skin, so say your face or your hands maybe, that are coming into touch with that temperature of the air in your room. What does that feel like on your skin? Perhaps you could feel a change in temperature around your face, perhaps as you breathe in and out. There's a slightly cooler in-breath and a slightly warmer out-breath, maybe. Maybe you can notice that on your lip, your nostrils, skin of your nostrils, your top lip. Okay, so let's move on now to the next sense. We've explored touch. Let's move to the sense of sight. So we could almost consider all these senses being a form of touch, if you like. So maybe the idea of light waves touching, touching the sense organs of our eyes, which are our retinas. So as the light enters our eyes, what can we see? What do we register in our room? Perhaps there's shadows being created as the dusk sort of arrives. Maybe there's familiar objects in your room, paintings or musical instrument maybe. I've got a guitar hanging here on the wall. It's creating a shadow sort of cast on the wall. If you've got any plants in your room, any sort of greenery, catches your eye, your sense of sight. So just allowing these sort of images just to register, so we're not straining to look at anything or peering, we're just allowing sort of images just to fall into our sort of line of vision, if you like. It's a very relaxed way of sort of perceiving our surroundings, very leisurely. Okay, so let's move on now on this little exploration, this little journey to the sense of hearing. So if you want to continue this idea of it also being touch, we could imagine hearing sound consisting of vibrations touching the sense organs of our ears. So what sounds can you perceive in your environment? So maybe starting sort of really close up. Can you hear any sounds of your body maybe? Maybe your tummy gurgling, your breath. Just seeing what sounds sort of fall into your range of hearing. We're not straining, we're not efforting. Just seeing what sounds are here, this present moment. And maybe moving further out. Can you hear any sounds sort of outside of your room maybe? Maybe voices in the street outside or lawn mowers. It's that time of year. Everyone's mowing their grass. Maybe you can hear the wind in the trees, distant traffic. What's the texture of these sounds? Maybe you can hear multiple sounds. What's the texture and the quality like of this sound, these sounds? I can hear lots of bird song where I am. It's very comforting. Can you hear any birds where you are, maybe? Okay, so let's move on now to the next sense. This is the sense of smell. So it doesn't seem such an obvious one as sight or hearing, perhaps, but we could perhaps imagine the sense of smell also being like touch. So the particles of scent, they touch our olfactory system in our nose, as we breathe in. So the smell is registered by our nose. smells can you smell? Maybe you can smell your deodorant, maybe a sort of body spray or soap, shower gel, perfume, washing powder, clothes maybe, bedding. Is there a sweet smell? Maybe a scented candle, possibly. Or can you not smell anything? And then moving on to the final sense that we're going to explore, which is the sense of taste. That's really closely linked to smell. So this idea of the flavors in our mouth, so touching our taste buds, and suddenly we can taste a flavor. So what tastes are in your mouth at the moment? Maybe you've eaten dinner, you still taste the remnants of that. Or the drink, maybe you had a sip of a drink for this session. Toothpaste, you might have brushed your teeth. If you can taste something, how would you describe it? Would you describe it as a pleasant taste? Maybe not so pleasant? Or maybe has a neutrality about it. It's neither pleasant nor unpleasant. It's just there. Okay, so now opening up your awareness to the whole of your body now, to the weight and the shape of your body. So we're moving back into that sense of touch. Just spend a few moments just resting here, just taking in all that information now, if you like, through our eyes, sense of sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch. Really inhabiting our bodies. Perhaps even feeling a sense of gratitude maybe for these senses of ours. I mean, we use them so automatically. And as you know, we spend so much time in our head, in our land of thoughts. I suppose we rarely think really or register that we have these senses and that they're working all the time, giving us all this information. So maybe just feeling some gratitude that we have these senses. Eyes that can see smiles, colours, the beauty of the natural world. Ears sensitive to all the sounds of life, voices, music, laughter. Okay, so I'm going to bring this meditation to an end now, this exploration to an end. Just give you just a half a minute or so, just maybe to change position, have a sip of water, your drink before we start the next part of this evening session, which is going to be a visualization. Okay. Just taking your time. Okay, so resting here, really allow the weight of your body to sink. Once again, feeling the surface supporting you, allowing it to support you. The whole back of your body, if you're lying. And then slowly coming into contact with your breath. So where can you feel the movement of your breath in your body most vividly? Perhaps you can feel it in your chest. Perhaps you can feel it in the sides of your chest, sides of your rib cage. That movement, that gentle movement against the inside of your arms. The gentle expansion and contraction. Maybe you can feel the movement in your shoulders, perhaps. Maybe your breath's quite high still. You can feel it in this area. The rise and the fall of your shoulders with each breath. Or maybe in the back of your body. Can you feel a subtle movement of your shoulder blades, perhaps gently moving apart on the in-breath and falling back together on the out-breath? So how do you find your breath this evening? What's the quality of your breath like? Perhaps it's light and higher in your chest. Perhaps it's barely sort of perceptible and you can't really sort of register it. Perhaps you find you are still in your head and your mind is really still whizzing. You're aware of those thoughts sort of whizzing through your mind and you're being taken away by them, taken away from the body, the present moment, off into sort of the past, the future. If this is the case, then that's completely normal. That's what minds are designed to do. They're designed to think. Sometimes I find it really handy to sort of focus on my breath. And that brings me out of my head. It's like an anchor that I can sort of rest my attention on. So maybe using the out breath as that anchor. You could perhaps even extend the out breath, maybe just slightly. So breathing long and slow out of the mouth. So perhaps, the in-breath, we could say it's like smelling a scented flower. So breathing in and then the out-breath. We're sort of breathing long and out. A much longer breath. So breathing in. Then an audible out-breath. Really allowing your body to sink. Allowing your lungs to empty. This long exhalation. And allowing the mind to really rest on that out-breath. So let's try a few more of those. So now tuning into your body. Where does your body feel most relaxed? Are there any particular areas in your body where you can feel relaxation? Perhaps down the back of your body. We've spent quite a lot of time focusing on this area. You can feel your body sort of releasing and letting go into that surface beneath. How does this relaxation feel if you can sense it? If you can, maybe you could allow that sense of relaxation to spread and increase. Maybe to areas that feel tighter and tenser. You could imagine that sense of relaxation spreading to those areas. Imagining your muscles melting and softening, letting go. And as your body relaxes, your mind also lets go, and it relaxes too. So you can feel your mind releasing and letting go of the thinking and the busyness. As we focus on this guided imagery. So let's start now with this visualization. So imagining that you're outdoors at dusk. So it's still light out, but the sun has set below the horizon. It's a pleasant temperature, it's comfortable. And you're in a safe and peaceful place in the country. Maybe you're on a farm, or maybe you're in the mountains, or even on an open prairie. You're picturing a place that feels calm, safe, and serene. A place you would enjoy watching the stars come out at night. So imagining all the details of your surroundings now. You might be lying back in a comfortable reclining chair, or lying on a blanket on the ground. The position that you're in, it allows you to admire the sky above you. You notice the grass on the ground around you. Perhaps running your fingers gently through it, you're feeling its softness. You're smelling its familiar grassy smell. You might see some trees or some rocks. Or just wide open plains and fields. So just imagining this pleasant scene. You can feel yourself relaxing. and you're enjoying this solitude, this peacefulness of this place. The temperature on the air, the temperature of the air on your skin, it's just right. So the air's been warmed by the daytime sun. You can still feel it sinking into your body and soothing your body. It feels like an inner glow, like everything's being sort of comforted and soothed by this relaxing warmth. However, there's also a soft breeze, and it's rolling across the plain or down the valley. You can feel this breeze gently caressing your skin. It feels just right, almost like a gentle stroke. It's reassuring and it's restful. This temperature's just right. Let's just take a moment now just to create this place in our imaginations, feeling a deep sense of peace, safety, and relaxation. So the sky is gradually becoming darker. The highest part of the sky is a deep indigo colour. It's becoming darker and darker as the moments pass. This colour blends into a lighter shade, an almost green at the horizon. The sky is like an interesting shade of pink. It's mixed with the grey and the fading light. So all these subtle colours of the sky all blending into one another. It's very peaceful watching the sky gradually darken. The air around you is still and calm. In the distance, you can hear crickets and frogs as they begin to sing with their familiar night chorus. This is accompanied by the gentle swishing of the grass around you and the gentle rustle of the leaves on the trees in the breeze nearby. So resting here, gazing upwards, supported by the great earth beneath you, you sense within yourself a deep connection to nature. You're no longer separated and apart, but you're experiencing a deep and intrinsic connection to this beautifully interconnected whole. You, the earth, the trees, the grass, the breeze, the chirp chirp of the crickets, the frogs, the gentle chorus, perhaps the hoot of a distant owl, and the echoing night song of a nightingale emanating from a forest way off in the distance. As you take in all these soothing and comforting sounds, you begin to wonder, perhaps that's the gentle gushing sound of a distant river you can hear, winding its way down from the mountains. All these sounds of nature, a distant river, all soothing, calming, natural sounds. How does your body feel now as it rests here in this serene space? Muscles releasing, a heaviness, a deep inner calm, relaxed, grounded, feeling the support of the earth beneath you. So the air has become slightly cooler now. It's very pleasantly cool against your forehead and cheeks. Gazing at the horizon, shapes such as distant trees or buildings are in silhouette. Your eyes are slowly adjusting to the decreasing light. As you gaze up at the sky above, it stretches from horizon to horizon like a vast dome. Straight up above, the sky is growing darker. It's nearly black, fading to a lighter colour near the horizon in the west. You can see the first stars appear. First one star, and then another, and then another, and another. You can see them twinkling, shining like tiny diamonds. As you look at the darkening sky, you can suddenly see more and more stars magically appearing. One by one they appear. Some so tiny and imperceptible, you're unsure if they're really even there. Other stars are becoming much clearer, more confident and delineated, beaming out their sparkling, twinkling light for all the world to see. You relax and enjoy the dusk, watching night begin. The coolness of the night air entering through your nostrils, fresh, pure oxygen, cleansing, refreshing, healing, restorative. The rhythm of your breath is now calm and soothing, and you feel so relaxed and at peace here in your special place. The sky is even darker now. It's become a dark black with only a slight hint of light at the horizon where the sun has set. The sky is so clear. There are no clouds anywhere to obscure this magnificent, bejeweled display. More stars have appeared. The sky looks like it's been sprinkled by a salt shaker, full of gleaming crystals of salt. Each crystal a shimmering star. Some bright and luminous, others just tiny specks that you can barely see. Simply enjoy relaxing under the starry night sky, enjoying this quiet retreat. Now the sky is jet black. Out here, away from the city lights, the stars are amazingly bright. Have you ever seen so many stars? The sky is filled with so many stars. There's no way you could count them all. You see the constellations formed by the stars. It's like hundreds of connect the dots pictures just spread out before you. The starry sky is so huge, so vast, a beautiful glimmering blanket of stars stretching up in a complete circle around you from every horizon. You gaze up at nature's display with a sense of awe and wonder. There is so much to see. Noticing familiar constellations such as Orion's Belt and the Big Dipper, and then the hundreds and billions of tiny stars that make up the Milky Way. You then spy in your peripheral vision a shooting star whizzing across the night sky, and then another in a different direction. Galaxies upon galaxies going on forever and forever in every direction. You lie here mesmerized, but so relaxed and so at peace, soaking it all in. Grateful to feel part of this amazing creation. You continue to admire this star-laden vista, feeling very calm, relaxed, peaceful. Okay. So as I bring this guided visualization to an end, you begin to feel ready to leave this peaceful place in your imagination, underneath the night sky, all the stars. Very slowly, you begin to refocus your body and your mind. So you feel your muscles reawakening. Feel yourself coming back into your room, into your space, into the here and now. Perhaps opening your eyes if that feels right for you. Taking in the shapes, windows, pictures. The colours, your room, different sort of shades of light, the shadow, perhaps. You might want to introduce some small movements into your body. So maybe rubbing your hands together, that sense of touch that we explored earlier, the skin, two hands rubbing one another, maybe your face. Just giving your body what you feel it needs. You might have been lying or sitting in one position for quite a while, so maybe just introducing some movements, gentle stretches, maybe giving yourself a hug. However you feel works for you. There's no rush. Just gradually allowing your body just to wake up. Or if you want to stay chill and relaxed and have a snooze, that's just fine. You can do that. Just taking a moment just to sit or lie quietly as you reawaken. Okay. Okay. So as I say, you might still be lying and having a bit of a snooze. That's absolutely fine. If you have come back to the screen, you have woken up, I'll just share a sort of final thought with you. I bring this session to an end. So having done this guided visualization together this evening, is that sense of deep inner peace and relaxation you might have. It doesn't need to end here. It's yours now. You can take it with you into the rest of your evening and throughout the night. It might give you a restful night's sleep, hopefully. If at any stage, you notice in the rest of your week you're becoming tense or stressed, you now have the opportunity to take a little time out to perhaps reimagine this special place beneath the stars where you can breathe, where there's that solitude, that spaciousness, and that peacefulness. You can relax It feels sort of centered again. It doesn't have to be a big long visualization like we've done, just to sort of give yourself 5 minutes just to close your eyes and just to imagine, that sky above you, that peacefulness, that cool breeze on your skin, and that vista of stars above, sort of magicalness of it all. Perhaps you might like to ground yourself and quieten your mind, calm your emotions by coming into contact with your senses. It can be really simple, like just like feeling the skin of one hand on another. It doesn't have to be sort of, anything as long and as detailed as what we did earlier. It can literally just be just focusing on the sensation of, the skin of one hand on the skin of another, that sense of pressure, touch. It can feel quite comforting and soothing. Or perhaps listening to sounds, just stopping for a moment, coming out of your head and your sort of doing mind, if you like, and all that doing and stuff you need to do, places you need to go, that whole list. And just literally just listening to the sounds around you. Sometimes people find it helpful to sort of count the sounds. So how many sounds can I hear? And then what are those sounds like? Are they similar? How many sounds can I hear? Is there like an orchestra of sounds almost? Are they pleasant? Are they unpleasant? How do they make me feel? Yeah, and likewise, you can do that with sight as well, of course. So just got 1 more minute to go. So just very quickly, as usual, I just mention that possibility maybe if people would like to make a small donation, that would be fab. Yeah. So if you would like to, if you got an email to this evening's session, then there's a link in there. I'm pretty sure there's a link in that email now. So you could always click on there, on that donate button there, or you could go to the Ellie's Gift website where there's a link there and you could donate there. And honestly, any amount would just be fab. Just to help Lucy, continue with this sort of project of hers. Yeah, because there's lots of different facets going on. I'm always learning that there's more sort of stuff that she's doing, which is brilliant. Okay, so anyway, I'll end the session here now. So thanks everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this evening, and I'll be back in a couple of weeks' time with another hour of relaxation. Take care, everyone.